Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chenoa if you are new here, and today I'm going to talk about all the books that I have given 5 stars to. The first one I'm going to talk about is Close Knit by Kelsey Denise Stone. Daphne is a knitting influencer who decides to have a yes year for her 26th birthday. Her first yes leads to a one-night stand with Cameron, a professional soccer player. The chemistry, the banter had me hooked. I'm just completely obsessed with these two. This is going to be my first 5-star for Emily Henry, and I'm so excited to say that it goes to Funny Story. If you don't know, Daphne is a children's librarian who moves to her fiance Peter's hometown to start their life together until he realizes he's in love with his childhood friend Petra. Daphne ends up as roommates with Petra's ex Miles. Miles gave me major Nick Miller from New Girl vibes, which I knew from the start I would be obsessed with him, but their chemistry just felt so authentic. Just like two regular people. If You Give a Billionaire a Bride by Anne Einerson. This is the second book in a series of interconnected standalones. Beverly and Cash go to Vegas to get married as a convenience for both of their businesses. The book I literally cannot stop recommending enough. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is a beautifully written second chance romance. It involves people that were previously married, but then something happened in their relationship. No cheating. They just kind of separate. I literally cannot recommend this book enough. Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young is another book that I love and cannot stop recommending. Win and Beau end up going to the same costume party, kind of dressed up the same. They just kick it off immediately, which then leads to a one-night stand, which also leads to an accidental pregnancy. But what I really do appreciate in this book is that they start off as friends and they just kind of progress in their relationship. Also appreciate just how much Beau was immediately there for her as soon as he, found out. False Start by Candy Steiner. Madeline is a realtor. She ends up going to show a house to her new client, not knowing that it is Kyle, the guy who broke her heart when they were younger. Like all Candy Steiner books, there is an emotional aspect to the story, so you end up finding out what actually happened, why both of their hearts got broken. When you do, make sure you have tissues. Catching Feelings by Maren Moore. You have Reese and Viv. Something happens in Vivian's life where she needs to find a new place to stay. Reese is trying to get her to move into his place, and for the longest time she's like no until she ends up taking it. They just have so much chemistry. Dun, da, da, da. Flawless and Heartless by Elsie Silver. I will say that Heartless is my absolute favorite just because it has Cade in it. Let me know in the comments down below which book of the Chestnut Spring series is your favorite. And if you haven't started the Chestnut Spring series, I highly recommend it. The Addicted Calloway Sister series. I haven't officially finished it, but I still recommend it. These are the 3 books that I have given 5 stars to. The rest of them are like 4.5 stars. So it's not really like a big difference. But we have Ricochet, Hot House Flower, and Kiss the Sky. This one follows Daisy, and then this one follows Rose. It is a long series. I think it's 10 or 11 books altogether. The Off-Campus series. The Deal, The Score, and The Goal. These are a series of hockey romances, and in each book you follow a different member on the team. I have not read these in a long time. I want to say that they are still 5 stars just for nostalgia's sake. Now, books that got everybody probably into or back into reading. Ugly Love and It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I will say that in this book specifically, it does deal with domestic violence. Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce. This is a super fun YA rom-com. Our female main character is trying to bring back her high school spring musical. She ends up getting grounded though. Her punishment is that she needs to work at her dad's game shop. She ends up getting the male main character to kind of cover her shifts. In exchange, she has to join his Dungeons and Dragons game while also flirt with him to make his girl crush jealous. I just think it was so sweet, so fun. The Fallen series by Lauren Kate. You have falling angels in every lifetime. They always find each other, and so in every book you get to see that. Bride by Miss Allie Hazelwood. This was my first. I loved it. I really did enjoy the aspect of them having a marriage of convenience between the two different species. I really do hope she writes more books like these. I would also really love more books in like this world, spicier books. We have Where's Molly by H.D. Carlton. If you've read the Cat and Mouse duet, you already know who Molly is. I just thought it was super fun that we got Molly's point of view. I really did enjoy learning more about her story, and Cade, who is the male main character, I loved him. I loved his mom. They were just so fun. Devourer of Men by Nikki St. Crow. I'm not going to tell you much about it because I think you should just really go in blind, enjoy it that way. A romance between Croc and Hook while also involving Wendy. Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. Pen pal romance, I believe. I don't really remember much, to be completely honest, but I gave it 5 stars. Good Game by Madison Fox. This is a hidden identity gamer romance. You follow these 3 men who are faceless gamers. They end up going to this award show. One of the servers ends up kind of running into him. Immediately that just kicks off this tension. It's not insta love. Outside in the real life, he runs into her without the mask. He also is into him as well, but she doesn't know that he is a mask gamer. We want an open door spicy book. The plot by Katie Van Brunt. Joey and Cam meet on a vacation in Greece after the people that they brought with them betray them. There's a second chance romance aspect in this book as well. Now we're going into like thriller horror. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This was my first Riley Sager book. It's about this girl when she was younger. Her family and her end up fleeing this house that they recently bought just because of like spooky things happening, and nobody really knows why. She doesn't really remember why they left, and her father ends up passing away and she inherits the house. All she knows about it is what her dad has written in books that he published about the house and called it like a house of horrors. So she returns trying to like figure out exactly what happened. Next we have Thrum by Meg Smitherman and Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrica. These are horror books. This is like on like the lower scale, while this is like a what am I rating? Imagine waking up in space and you find out your entire crew is dead. The only person that you are in space with is an alien who has just completely tailored himself to your preferences. You're just trying to survive while also figure out what happened to your crew. This is set in a world where a deadly disease just wipes out all the animals. Like you can't eat them, you can't be around them at all. To deal with that, they started breeding humans and farming them for consumption. Now we're on to fantasy. The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I'm making a reading vlog for the entire series. This is the only one I've read so far. I was pleasantly surprised to see how accurate the new TV show was to the books. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This was another book that I was pleasantly surprised to say that the movies were pretty accurate to the books. These last 2 are very popular fantasy books. A Court of Mist and Fury. This is the only book in the ACOTAR series that I have given 5 stars to. We also have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Now we're getting out of fantasy and we're going into historical fiction and just like regular fiction. Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. June is a struggling author who ends up going to Athena's house to celebrate Athena's success. Out of nowhere, she ends up passing away right in front of June, and in that moment, June decides to take Athena's manuscripts and pass them off as her own. Immediately, her career skyrockets. The Woman by Kristen Hanna. If you read this, you will need tissues. You will feel all the emotions, I promise you. Frankie ends up deciding to join the Vietnam War after her brother leaves for Vietnam. The first half of the book is her as like a new nurse who's learning the ropes of what it is like to work in a war environment, and the other half is her coming back home and dealing with everything. Besties, thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching this video. Please let me know in the comments down below what are some books that you have given 5 stars, or if we have any books in common that you also gave 5 stars to. I will see you guys in the next video.